Hello class. I hope you guys are doing fine. That I know you guys have like a few more weeks of school left, so you guys can do it. You guys can hang on there. I know you guys can do it. But today's lesson, and today we are going to be learning about Ruth and Boaz, which can be found in Ruth 2 and 4, and so yeah. So today's lesson is going to consist of three main characters, and one of them, his name is Boaz. And so Boaz is owner of the field where Ruth gathered grain, and here where I wrote it in also in Chin. So both su Ruth ni famwa aswatnak lo ane tupa kasi, and also no miva titsami is lo zong asafon, meaning that Romy, Boaz and Naomi are relative because of Naomi's late husband. And Boaz is also a very, very, very wealthy man. He has a lot of money because he owns a field. And the next one is Ruth. So Ruth was not from the land of Judah. She moved there with Naomi. Ruth was from the land of Moab. She gathers grain all day in the land that Boaz owns, and Boaz was very, very kind to Ruth. So, that says something of what our story is going to look like today. And Naomi is also not another main character of this story. So basically, Naomi and Ruth are widows because Naomi had a son, right? And Ruth married that son, but that son passed away. So they're both widows, and when they basically only really have each other. So when Ruth would bring all the grain to Naomi, and they would grind the grain into flour and then use it to make barley bread. And so because they're both widows, and because so basically Naomi is like Ruth's mother-in-law. Ruth treated Naomi like a mother, and Naomi treated Ruth like a daughter. So they have this really special bond. And yeah, so basically, one day, Naomi had a great idea. Naomi told Ruth that, well, you know what? Boaz has been so kind to you, Ruth. I think he would be a good husband. And since Ruth doesn't know any of the customs of their country, Naomi tells Ruth that she would be happy to tell her what to do if she would like her to. And Ruth did want to marry Boaz. So basically, what Naomi told Ruth was that with the owner of the field, when they would usually sleep at their grain, near the grain, to protect it so people won't steal it. And so Naomi told Ruth, well, wait for him to sleep, and then you're gonna go there and lay on his feet. So yeah, Ruth was to go and lay down at Boaz's feet. And in their country, this is a way for women to tell a man that she wants to marry him. So she waited for Boaz to sleep, and when Boaz did sleep, she laid down near his feet. And at midnight, something woke Boaz up from his sleep, and he looked down and saw Ruth. And Boaz was very happy that Ruth wanted to marry him, even though he was a bit older. And so basically, since they both really want to marry each other, Boaz understood that Ruth is not of their country, so he needs to tell her their customs and the rules. So basically, Boaz told Ruth that I am Naomi's relative, so I can marry you, but I will have to buy back all of the lands that Naomi's husband used to own. And there is one relative, another relative who is closer to Naomi. So if he chooses to buy back the lands and marry you, then he has the first choice. So I must go and ask him, and that is a law and custom of our country. So basically, if someone closer to Naomi wanted to buy the land and wanted to marry Ruth, they basically couldn't marry each other. So basically, sorry, I've been saying basically so much, but Boaz went to the other relative, and he said that he went to buy back all of Naomi's husband's land. So the other relative thought very, very carefully, and he realized that he did not want to buy all of the lands because this would cost a lot of money, and he did not want to marry Ruth either. So basically, the other relative told Boaz that I will give up my rights to be the kinsman redeemer. So in that he will follow their customs and give Boaz his sandal. Then everyone will know that I am letting you be the kinsman redeemer, which means that you have all the lands, and you can buy Naomi's land and you can marry Ruth. So now Boaz is the kinsman redeemer. So now that they are married, they get married, and obviously they have a son. They had a baby boy, and they call him Obed, which means servant of God. And Naomi loves Obed because that's like his grandchild, and she helped them take care of him. But after Obed grew up, he had a son named Jesse, and Jesse later had a son named David, which some of you guys might already know. David is a very popular character in the Bible, and David, who grew up to be the king of Israel. And many, many, many years later, one of Ruth and Boaz's descendants was Jesus Christ. So basically, Jesus Christ's descendants include Ruth and Boaz. So that's just an interesting fact. So basically that's the story of today's lesson, and here are the questions. So you can pause this video to write it down or to just answer it. So the first question is, Ruth apasal bin kahoda si Boaz ni izitin da Ruth ni vat akaduti kahal Naomi rol champani Boaz tu atovo apek nakding azida atua Ruth le Boaz ni an Naomi an fapa min ka hoda asi. Ruth le Boaz zero in the hoda atuak. So I'll quickly translate these in English. So basically, the first question asking who is Ruth's husband, the name of her husband. Boaz needs it in that Ruth need. Okay, so basically this one's asking, how did Boaz know that Ruth wanted to marry him? And what did the relative have to do? That was a signal to Boaz that he can get all the land and he can marry Ruth. And Ruth le Boaz and Naomi and Fapa min kahoda asi. So, what was the name of Ruth's and Boaz's son? And from Ruth's and Boaz's descendants who came. So like basically saying, I answered this in the last question. I meant the last slide. So yeah, that's a little hint, and I hope you guys have a good day. And you guys can actually answer these in English if you also want to. Bye guys. God bless you guys, and I hope you guys have a great weekend.